And board of directors are in the first line of defense for an organization against risks. What are your views on it?
Again, board is not management. They're not directly building programs, operating programs, but they are overseeing those programs. And the first thing that the board does is really understand, okay, what are the processes that the company is using to identify risk? Most companies, at least the larger companies, have a fairly robust ERM or enterprise risk management program. Not every company does, but the board wants to understand what are those processes. Who's feeding information in so that risk can be identified? And are they identifying the right risks? And they may not be. And the board, with its external lens, has a very strong ability to say, okay, well, what about this? What about that? And have you thought of this? And so identifying and overseeing that process is critical. And then it would be a best practice for the board to say, okay, we've defined, whatever it is, the top 10 risks, 15, whatever the number is, that really can make a difference and have a real material impact on the company. Let's dig deeper into them. And that is a full board responsibility, although sometimes it's carried out at the committee level depending on what the risk is. There's a lot of discussion in the governance community about, sort of where risk oversight of specific risks belong. So, for taking cyber as an example, should it be at the audit committee? Should it be at a separate technology committee? Should it be at the board level? And the reality is that for some risks that take a lot of time and knowledge to really dig deeply into, it probably makes sense to have a committee devoting the time to doing that. However, having said that, it is ultimately a full board issue, and the entire board needs to take ownership of a level of oversight of those risks. So a director would really want to understand, okay, for X risk, do we have the right talent in place? Are we allocating the right level of resources? Where is the oversight? Is internal audit looking at this particular issue? Is someone looking at this particular issue? And how are we making sure that the company is really on top of it? Culture is another thing, and that's a very big deal. One other thing about risk. So when we think about risk and use the word risk, we automatically go to things that we should prevent against. Risk is also really good. And when I say it in that sense, it's business risk, it's innovation, it's taking a risk on doing something different. And sometimes the board's role is to say, you know what, management, you're not taking enough risk. You're playing it too safe. And that can be actually as big a problem as any other risk. So that's an important role of the board when it comes to risk as well.